in the pits. It looks like they're going 4 wide to 5 wide, but they're side by side. Connor is sideways, absolutely sideways in the last few corners. Oh, but he's up in the gravel and he spins. Rob has made a bit of a dive. It actually hits teammate Craig, and so they've all got stuck in the gravel. And Joe gets the switch back. That's fantastic racing. Look at that. Contact, but it's Rubbings Racing. Joe McCall takes his first ever win just ahead of Connor. A fantastic race. He's going to take 6th, or is it? Oh, he just gets him. And is Darren going to take it? No, he doesn't. Mark Nichol takes the race. Josh is the Independence champion for Season 3. Craig Kellett is your Season 3 winner and champion. Hello and welcome to the Renault Megane Cup Round 2 for Group A. We are here at the Suzuka circuit in Japan with the 3.6 mile figure of 8 circuit. In the entry list, it's a 14 car grid with both Luke Knox and Joe McCall not entering in after they retired from the touring cars in race 3. Both the Mikes of Mike Comer and Mike Kuipers join in from round 2 after they didn't race at round 1 in Monza. Also note that Alex McCready has updated his livery to an interesting looking green livery. Daniel Stewart has the black livery, as Mike Comer has the standard yellow livery from this round. So let's have a look at the qualifying and find out who is on the grid. So the reverse grid has put Rob Pellett on pole position next to Daniel Stewart. On row 2, of course, is Joe Burrows, who is next to Gary Black in his Season 3 livery. Row 3 is Alex McCready's brand new green livery next to Mike Kuipers in the Angel and Devil livery. Row 4 is Mark Nichol next to Stephen Heath. On row 5 we've got Craig Kellett, who is next to Tom Foster. Row 6 is Harry Cook next to Darren Parker, and on the back row of the grid we've got Mike Comer and Kieran Thomas. Okay then, here we go. It's the Renault Megane Cup race, the second round after Monza being the first race, and we've got Rob Pellett on the front row of the grid, and he's got a good start, but obviously it's going to be a fairly even start because of everyone being in the same car. Already Dan Stewart has lost a position to Joe Burrows and makes a fairly decent start into the first corner. That's someone running wide, and I think that was Mike Kuipers, so he joins on the back. So Dan on board with Dan, who's now behind Alex. The two Speedy Motorsports guys not racing as a team in this, of course, because there are no teams, but they could help each other out. Whoa.
I'll say that, I think he's just lost a bit of time there,
yeah,
in the grass.
So Heafy is now under threat from Craig.
Redemption time.
Indeed.
The last race.
Yeah. That's Mark nearly going wide there. So let's go on board with Craig, who's behind Heafy and Dan. As they go into the sharp left-hand hairpin.
And it looks like Dan's lost 2 positions there so he's just fallen for the grid pretty much.
Yeah. It's early days for Dan.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's probably his first time in the car, isn't it? So hopefully he can make those few positions up. We've got the 2 most experienced men in or 2 of the experienced men in the Meganes.
Yeah.
Are hot on Dan's tail, so hopefully they can. Hopefully Dan might be able to hold them off and keep his 6th place. Would be good to. Would be a good points haul for him in the Megane series. Looks like Darren's just kept his position to get ahead of Ranksman.
So I think Darren but he's side by side with Gary, and that is ridiculously close. That's wild going into that corner side by side. How they both managed to stay on the circuit was fantastic racing. So really well held by both Darren and Craig. Darren and Gary there. So Craig again is right hot on the back of Heafy here, and I think Heafy's just got a little bit of confidence here at Suzuka now after getting a fairly decent result in race 3, and look at that sideways action from Heafy, and that's allowed Craig. Oh no, but Craig's off on the grass, and he manages just to stabilise himself and hold on to that 5th. Up ahead then for the lead, Rob. Again, look at this. Rob is really comfortably leading, and come out of his shell into first place with Alex.
So this is where he really shines, doesn't he, Rob?
Yeah.
He's full sends it in the Megane, which is at least he's it's good to see him up there, definitely. But it looks like Alex is doing really well, like you said in I think it was race 1, wasn't it, Tom?
Yeah.
Alex does come alive in the Megane series. And we put a bit of pressure on Rob. He's looking for a move, but I think he pulls out of that.
Looking really racy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh wow, sideways. Look at that. Drift around.
Are really twitchy, aren't they, because of the rear wheel, and it's quite easy to drift in these. Coming out of that, especially that hairpin, is really tight. So, but 2 teammates now coming together for the 3rd position.
More contact. Oh, look at this. It's bunching up and it's getting a little bit messy. So Joe Burrows manages to stay in 3rd position, and Craig looks like he's got the overtake done on Heafy, and Heafy's going to be pushed out now by Darren. So bullied down into 5th position here potentially, and Gary could may well really wait for a mistake to happen with Tom and Mark now quite close behind. 2 of them run wide, get back on the circuit, and nothing too drastic there. So at the moment, some really good racing going on here. Oh, there's Mark and Tom getting together. Whoa, sideways. Oh no, Mark's lost it. He's sideways. So Tom and Mark got together there. I think Tom managed to recover okay. There's Kieran in 12th, so Kieran's struggling in the Renaults, but Mark Nicol is pushed all the way down to the back, and I remember rightly that Mark spun out in Monza and ended up having a nightmare. So
yeah, so it's another Megane crisis for Mark. But it looks like he's going to send it on the inside of him.
Yeah, it pushes Kieran quite wide into the green stuff. Yeah. We'll have a look at the replay and find out what happened with Mark and Tom to have a closer look. Let's watch Mark then as he goes into the chicane and makes an attempt on overtaking Tom, and unfortunately catches the back end there, and then as he tries to regain control, he actually catches the grass and spins out. So Rob is leading, and he's actually got a really big gap now, so looking fantastic, really comfortable. Alex has dropped off and is now under threat from Craig. Alex, of course, in his brand new green livery. Some fantastic looking cartoons on there as well, so after having the standard Renault livery joining very late in the day in the Renaults round 1.
So it looks like Craig might put some pressure on Alex McCready. I don't think we've saw from Monza. Craig, I think, went into his teammate, didn't he? Or he caught the grass, and both the yellow drivers span and went into the wall. It was a weird incident, to say the least. It looks like the 2 HB drivers are coming together now.
They are exchanging, racing really well. And I'm sure they were racing really close together in Monza. So these 2 are drawn together like magnets again in the Renaults. I think they're fairly evenly matched. They always seem to kind of race quite close together. They do.
Yeah.
So Gary,
they're quite similar abilities, aren't they?
Gary not so quick in the Renaults, and a pack further behind for 10th, which is Harry Mike, who's now in the yellow Renault livery that Alex had, because Mike has joined late in the day for the Renault, so hopefully we'll get to see something a bit more of a personal paint job for Mike come round 3. Mike, this is the first time for him in the Renaults, as he wasn't in the in the race for Monza. So a really striking looking livery, split down the middle.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out what that is actually.
It's a devil and angel.
Oh,
I looked at it previously, and yeah, looks interesting. So Rob's still leading, but look at Craig, and Craig, no doubt, now he's got the space, and he's free from Alex. He can push on.
Craig does best.
Yes. The last time this happened, Craig fought for the lead with Rob. Both of them went off. Rob ended up further down on the pack, and Craig retired, unfortunately. So an Elliott Racing nightmare.
Speaking of retirements as well, actually, I think Yellow Bullet or Dan has retired from the race as well.
Okay.
So we've had a few drivers retire. I think we've got a few in the grave. This track is not very liked, is it?
So Dan unfortunately has left, and that's left just 13 cars on the track. And this pack here has got a bit exciting for midway through for 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th.
Looks like Heafy's just dropped down a bit as well, isn't he?
Yeah, Heafy's dropped off with Joe. I think probably they're battling it out between them. So there's Joe, Darren, Gary, Tom and Heafy all involved in this. But further up,
looks like.
Sorry, just got your road on the right then.
I think Darren's made the move on Vamp. I just saw coming into the left-hander, but it looks like Alex has caught his way up again to Craig. Yeah,
and actually the two of them have caught up with Rob. So this is another three-way battle for the lead of this race. So very much similar to race 3 in the Tourers. This is really hotting up, and it's still fairly early on in the race, so still a few laps to go. Back onto this then, Darren has gapped Joe, and Gary now is going to make a move on Tom, and Heathy is there as well. Tom runs a little bit wide.
I think Tom was a bit on the late brakes there just to keep Gary behind them. There's good defending. So these Meganes must be horrible to drive through here for the rear wheel, and how twisty the track is.
Yeah.
Back end could kick out any moment. Know that the best.
See how twisty those S's are.
Yeah. So if you take it too quick, you're going straight into the gravel, and it's quite easy to make a mistake there.
Stephen Heath has dropped off, so he must have made a mistake. So he was very close, wasn't he? And he's just
looks like Harry might be able to make a little move on him.
Yeah.
Catch up, got another 4 laps to go yet. Anything can happen.
That car of Harry's is so dark, it's almost just taken away all the detail away from the Renault.
Yeah. It looks like a big block, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, Mike's back in kicking out there, just comes on the grass a little bit there.
The two Mikes battling out then for 10th and 11th.
Got his indicator on.
Mike coming to grips with that Renault for the first time. The two Mikes, actually, because both Mikes have never raced in the Renault Megane, so this will be a lesson for learning for the two of them in the first race, whilst the others have had the first race under their belt. Obviously, some of them have already raced in Renaults, like you, Josh, in seasons 1 to 3.
Straight.
Yeah.
3 seasons straight, and it did me well. Was a one hard car to drive, I tell you, but it was worth it. It was a nice little car to drive.
The most experience out of everyone for the Renaults, and you weren't in the Renault race for Monza, but hopefully we'll see you next week racing against everyone for the
Winners give it a go. So it would be nice to have one more time in the Megane. Do miss it. But obviously you can't have it, it's just league regulations, but I'd obviously take it back if I could. It's done me well over the past year, or over the 3 seasons. So
the lead of this race has changed now. So Craig has got the head of Rob, and again this pack of 3 cars here. Oh no, Rob's made a mistake. I was going to say it's really close and still very tightly packed together, but Rob made a mistake, got himself onto the gravel, and so he drops down to third. Still on the podium. Oh, I think that's Alex getting sideways as well. So Harry Cook looks like he might be catching up, and that is Gary. Just seen Gary go off. Gary's in the gravel. Another livery from previous. Gary raced in the Renault Megane in season 3 and decided to keep his Storm of Leicester's really well known livery, so he's dropped off unfortunately. Harry Cook I think has just dropped off as well, so something's going on. So these Renaults are, I think, a little bit wild in terms of the back end, so some of the guys are really struggling to keep them together.
They are horrible on the back end. A bit of grass and you're going sideways.
No doubt.
Don't like it at all.
Tom up to 6th then, and Joe Burrows on his own, not under too much threat from Tom, but keeping on the back of Darren. Joe, another one on a gamepad, as you can see, not on the steering wheel.
Little twitches, isn't it?
Back up to the lead of the race. Rob has got back ahead.
McCready.
Yeah, it's changed
Alex
again.
McCready is leading.
So yeah, Craig has got on the inside and he gets past Rob, so Rob's pushed down to 3rd again. As they come
now for the last 2 laps.
Yeah, 2 laps.
Anyone's race.
I think we'll keep an eye on these guys because it's no doubt going to change again. Oh, contact there with Craig and Alex.
Bit of pushing and shoving, isn't it? It's really close.
So Alex holding on like Kieran did in race 3, and Craig looking unbelievably racy, looking for any inch of space he can to get past. As you say, it's difficult to overtake on some of these corners. So Rob has got on the outside of Craig, and this is really what as I say, yeah, it was really brave of Rob, but it's pushed wide, and so that slowed him down into the hands of Darren now. So Darren could push on to get past Rob, as Rob, look at that sideways, oh, drifting round a corner.
He catches it. Wow,
what a move
from what a move from Rob, and he's managed to catch it. I mean, we must see I think he needs a new nappy, I think, in there.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
So
Rob needs a new nappy. That was a bit scary.
Joe Burrows is there, and I think this pack is actually catching up to the lead pack here. So it's actually now down between Alex and Craig, unless they can continue to catch up again. And I think
Craig is just looking for any space there. He saw it, but shut off immediately. Alex goes a bit wide. Craig might be able to capitalise on the better exit on the straight.
Side by side as they come down into that fast left-hander again.
It's good to see Craig at the top again, but he's under threat by Alex, the rookie.
Nearly on the grass.
He does it. He overtakes him and he keeps it off the green.
Fantastic racing. So Craig gets it. Alex is going for the dive. Oh, he's got it. Wow, look at that. That was incredible. So Alex gets that was unbelievably brave. It was wild, and he's got it, and he's made it work. But look at this. Everyone is now in for the fight for the lead of this race. It's 4-car pack. This is great to watch. Just 2 laps to go then.
So Alex is putting enough moves I'd make.
Yeah.
I think it's been in some of my lessons, I think.
So Craig's run wide, he's pushed even further wide. Darren's involved now, so Darren is up to 3rd for the first time in this race, and Craig is on the back end of him, and Craig is down to 4th, so Darren could be in for the win. And Darren was obviously leading this series because he got the win in the first race at Monza, so Darren is looking to get the multiple wins if he can get it. Joe also comfortably in 5th and could gain some positions if things get untidy. And Darren's made the move. He's on the inside of Rob and he's got it. So Darren is up to 2nd and Rob's been pushed down to 4th.
And Craig's made his way up to 3rd, which is good to see. And it looks like Vamp is going to capitalise on that move. Rob, Joe might pull something off at the hairpin here. He tries to look for the gap, but Rob defends really well, and he's overdone it.
Oh, sideways from Joe as well. So all the time this is happening, Alex has just pulled away ever so slightly, but no doubt that Darren is going to catch him, and Alex is going to be looking in his rear mirrors and thinking and seeing that that's the series leader. So of course Alex was in the first race and he did really well there, so he is going to be hawkeyeing Darren
just got to keep it clean and not make any mistakes, and just try and defend as well as possible, just to keep Darren behind him. You know Darren can be dangerous. So he's looking for the gap again. He's going in on the left hand. He does get the move, but
and he's got it.
Let's could see another little move from Alex. He does it again.
Oh,
three wide. Really late on the brakes. Really late on the brakes.
So Darren is on one, but Alex and Craig just get back ahead again. So this is an amazing race. They're 3 wide as they go down onto the final lap. Rob is very close behind. Joe is there as well. Tom is in the background, but he's not going to be close enough to fight for the lead. But they go 3 wide, and it's Darren and Craig who come out on top, and Craig gets into the lead of this race. Alex goes down to 3rd on board with Alex then.
It's a bit unfortunate there just to lose the 2 positions, Craig and Darren. And it looks like he may lose another position. Rob is looking really dangerous on the back of him. I think he's defending it really well. Darren might push for Craig to take the lead. As you said, Darren's leading the series now.
Whoa! Rob and Alex get together. There was a dive from
almost.
Rob. Yeah, big contact. But again, they're still on the tarmac, and they're running out of corners. So at the moment it's Craig, but it's been changing almost constantly throughout the last few laps. So again, another race that we can't really predict. It could be any of them.
Tom's just on his own there, and it looks like Rob and Joe have fallen off a little bit. So there's another three car pack.
Down to Spoon for the final time.
If Craig gets this right, he could take the win. He gets it. Yeah, he keeps it. It's really good to see. And Alex again flashing his lights at Darren. Don't come here.
So here they come down the straight, then down into the fast left-hander. The final 3 or 4 bends. We've got one fast left-hander and a really tight chicane into the sweeping right-hander to the finish, and that's Craig and Darren. And Darren runs wide, so that's going to allow Alex to make a move potentially. Does he make a move?
Don't think he does. I know he does.
Oh, he does. He's been reset. So Alex has been reset. He's down in 5th. So the win is going to be Craig Kellett.
And Joe's made his way up to 3rd. Wow.
Craig gets the win. Darren is 2nd. Joe Burrows 3rd, gets the podium after being so patient. Rob gets a 4th after leading the race. That's Alex is 5th. Tom is 6th. Harry is 7th, with Stephen Heath in 8th. Mike Kuiper's 9th. Gary Black is 10th. Kieran, a very, very, very quiet 11th. And then Mike Comer must have gone off somewhere because he's dropped off. But Mike gets 12th, and I think Mark retired in the end. A really close ending to the race then meant Craig Kellett gets the win ahead of Darren. Joe Burrows gets the last podium position. Rob was 4th, and Alex finishes in 5th after resetting in the chicane right at the end. Tom was 6th, Harry was 7th, Stephen 8th, Mike 9th, Gary was 10th, Kieran 11th, Mike Combe was 12th, and both Mark Nichol and Daniel Stewart failed to finish the race after they both retired. So what it means for the points, Darren bolsters his lead with 37 points, which is 11 points ahead of the next person, which is Alex and Joe, who are joined on 26 in 2nd and 3rd. But then look at the rest of them, how close they are. Rob is on 25, Gary 23, Stephen 21, Craig on 20 after getting his first win, and then Tom on 18, 16th Harry, Kieran on 14. So very, very close after the second round. Mike Comer and Mike Kuipers with Mark each have a few points down the bottom. Thank you very much for watching the second round of the Renault Megane Cup. We will see you for round 3 at Interlagos after the touring cars. Thank you very much.